I'm just starting on the interior of this little room box, and I get quite a bit done in this video. So I'm going to take you along for the ride and show you what's happening in number 2 of the series, DIY Room Box. So what do you think of the new house? Do you like it? It's so weird. Are you ready? 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 Yeah. What do you say? Ready? Ready? You're so silly. So Carlos had to have his little cameo as well. So, so this is a follow up to part 1. So I got the floor all done, and you'll see I've got out here some wood filler. Sorry, I've only got the brown stuff. I really should have some white or a lighter color, but that's okay. I'm gonna use what I have. And you could see there was a crack in the top right hand corner of the box, so I'm just using the wood filler to fill it in, and I'm going to let it dry for an hour or so and sand it down, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paint over it. So yeah, there you go. So now you can no longer see the light through that big giant crack, and that'll make the room box look a little bit better once it's painted. This is the wallpaper that I chose. I wanted to go for something really super neutral because some of the pottery that I'm going to be putting in this room is quite bright, and I don't want the background colors of the walls to kind of distract from the pottery that I'm going to be putting inside of here. So I tried to come up with something that's kind of neutral, and I want the outside of the room box to look very Victorian, so I figured I'd go for something that's kind of a little bit Victorian or have a flair of Victorian to it. So this is Behr paint, and what this is it's from the hardware store, and it's a paint sample for real size houses, and it's paint and primer all in one, and it's kind of a nice neutral off-white. I don't want the back wall to be white, so I painted the ceiling white, and I put 4 coats on it. So now I'm going to be doing just the back wall of this room box in this nice creamy off-white color. So you can see here I just got a paintbrush, and I'm just cutting it in so that it's nicely cut in. And this paint, because it's got the primer built right in, you can practically do this whole job in one coat. I do end up having to put to touch it up afterwards, but yeah, it's really nice paint to work with. The brand that I'm using is called Behr, but I think that's only available in Canada at Home Depot. So and I think it'll be a nice match for the wallpaper that I chose. So been kind of at working on this room box on and off all day today and a little bit yesterday, and just kind of trying to do a little bit at a time. So the outside of the room box is going to be a lot more work than the inside, but I figured, well, I might as well start with the inside and get as much done as I possibly can before I start on the outside, because once the outside is attached to it, it won't be as easy to access everything on the inside. I apologize for that. Usually I shut my phone off. Okay, so there you go. I've got it all painted, and I did end up doing most of it with 1 coat, and then I just had to go back in and touch it up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see in the video so much, but it's very obviously not the same color as the white. So yeah, I think it's, you can notice it a little bit better from a distance. There you go. So now I'm going to work on the floor, and I've decided I'm just going to use burnt umber acrylic paint, and I'm just adding some to a little dish, and then I'm going to water it down, about 50% water, 50% acrylic paint, and mix it up. And that's what I'm going to use for my stain for the floor. So as you can see, it's quite watered down, but it covers really nice, and I really actually like the way this color looks once it's on. I have used lots of different methods to stain wood floors, but I think this is my method of choice. And it doesn't smell bad either. So when you use wood stain, it's got quite an odor to it, and I usually try and do that outside because I do have the birds in the house, and I don't think it's like particularly healthy for them to be smelling lots of chemicals. So you can see here, I put it on, and then I wipe it off with a damp paper or with a paper towel. And so I've got the whole floor done. It's still wet and it looks a little bit patchy, but you'll see once it's dry, it doesn't look that bad at all. So I'm quite pleased with the way that looks. I'm not going to be varathaning this in this particular video, but I will go back later on, and I will be using some high gloss Mod Podge over it as varathane just to protect the wood. And yeah, you can see what it's going to look like. So I'm quite pleased with the way that looks. So my next step will be to install the wallpaper on either side. This wallpaper is actually scrapbook paper. So, and what I've done is I've used tacky glue to install it. And now I'm going to start working on the shelving, which will hold all of my pottery. So I got this little wood trim at the local hardware store, and then I had these pieces of oak that I'm going to be using for the actual bookshelves themselves. So I've just got to cut it all so that it fits inside, and I think it'll look really good. I really debated leaving these shelves just like the natural wood color, but in the end I just couldn't do it. So these are kind of like crown molding, and they will actually help support the shelving that I'm going to be putting in. So I've got the crown molding part of it cut, and now I'm going to have to go downstairs and cut the shelves. So now I've got the shelves cut, and that's what the back wall of this room box is going to look like. And yeah, I do like it in the natural wood, but I think that in the end, I can't live with it that way. So I'm back again to my burnt umber paint and water wash, and I've got down some wax paper to protect my table, and I'm just painting it with the watered down acrylic paint. So and it looks so much darker when it dries. It's not going to be this dark at all. So I'm just painting that on, and then because those strips of wood are so thin, I had to put some weight on them to prevent it from warping, because I did actually put the paint aka stain on both sides. So now it's dried for a few hours. I've got some satin or matte Mod Podge, and I'm going to be putting matte Mod Podge on these shelves. So and that'll just protect them from, when I put tacky wax, etc. on them, then they won't get stains. So I put a couple layers of the matte Mod Podge just on the top layer of the shelf, and then also on these little crown molding pieces. They don't look like crown molding pieces in the film, but they are actually, they've got quite a ledge on them that the little shelves can sit on, and it'll help the shelves stay stable. So I'm just making sure that my first coat of Mod Podge is a good one, and then I will be gluing them into the room box. So they will be put in there permanently. So Right now they've got lots of tacky glue on them, and they're not dry yet. So this is what it looks like with the shelving in it. And I think it'll look really cool once I've got all the pottery. So I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. This is a little pottery wheel that I started making. The clay is still wet, so I'm waiting for it to dry, and I still have to sand it and make it less Fred Flintstone like. But that's the pottery wheel that will be going in this room. If you enjoyed today's video and would like to help support my channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. Just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Lisa Dobo. I'd like to thank everyone that has been supporting me by buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. It's appreciated more than you know. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. It's free of charge, and it really does help support my channel as well. Please re-hit that notification bell so you know every time that a video is uploaded. For some reason, the notification bell gets turned off from time to time, so you might have to go and re-hit it. And once again, thanks for watching today. And as always, have the best day ever.